Hi everyone. Well, I just thought I'd stop in quick before we got busy on the video and say hi and let you know we're making our second wreath today. And this one is made with poly burlap. And I'm just going to do a little explanation right off the top. This is a petal style that I saw at Julie's Wreath Boutique just recently, where she made a flower where there's no fray because of the way that the mesh was cut and folded. She has several different ways that she does that. A lot with the wood burner, but this is actually one that you just cut with the rotary cutter. They're cut 16 inches instead of 10. And I think I show you a couple of them, but I didn't show you cutting all the mesh because that's kind of a boring thing to watch. But anyway, we're going to make a flower wreath. We're using the poly burlap for Memorial Day and 4th of July. I'll be right back. Hang in there. Okay, you can see right now I'm cutting the red, and I put a piece of tape on this cutting mat that's 16 inches long so I would know where to cut. And I'm going to cut, I think I'm going to need 14 of these. But you can see I'm just using a rotary cutter. And the reason is there's a new folding technique that is supposed to keep it from fraying. So let me finish doing the cutting and I'll get back for the next step. Okay, the next step I'm going to do is to take this 10-inch frame and trace a line around just outside that one. Doesn't want to cut that well. Just outside this first ring. On this plastic canvas. And you can get this in like a Hobby Lobby or any place that they do needlework type of thing. So now I'm just going to cut this out. Now we're going to take some zip ties, and I think I've got some little ones here. And just zip tie it to the frame in several places. And what I do is I don't tighten them all the way until I get the one on the other side on. And then I will take both of these and tighten it down so that then it is as equal as possible. I'll put a few more. So I'll be back when I finish getting this onto the frame. Okay, I'm going to show you how this is folded. You take this two pieces, and I'm going to just fold it down and make it like a V. See how that's folded at the bottom? Okay, but then I'm going to take it and fold it again this way. And now I can take these way up here and create my petal. And that was a piece that was already frayed, and we'll just get rid of it. You see how that petal is formed? And you can work at it. But there's no raw edges. So I'm going to put that on the crossbar of this first section, right in here, on the second bar, and it's kind of difficult to get these. There we go. Well, maybe. Let's do that again. Right on the second bar of that crossbar. There we go. Now you will notice there's quite a large tail here that we're going to cut off. I think we need to come down a little bit more. Sorry. Yeah, maybe that's a little better. Okay, now I'm going to do one on the next crossbar up here. And we'll do that same fold technique. Okay, I'm going to bring these down so I'll have like a V. But then I'm going to bring this, turn it sideways, but then I'm going to bring this up here again. And this becomes the bottom, okay? And so your petal is up here. So we're going to gather it up. And we have our petal. And there's no exposed edges. And I'm going to put that one on this crossbar. I used to have one of those cutters that would take the ends of this off very easily. But I think in one of the moves, it went bye-bye. I don't know where it is right now. So we're going to have to work with scissors, which is a little harder on the hand, but it'll work. Now I think I'm going to get two in between these two. Let's see how that works out. These would be a lot easier if I put these on before I put the mesh in. And I did all that work and I have it backwards. Okay, wait a second, let's get this straightened out again. Okay. I might get 3 in between. No, I think maybe 2. Hold on. Alright, now I'm going to do the second row, and I've already put the ties in, and you'll see they're in the mesh here. They're not on any of the bars, okay? And all these little pieces are going to be a pain in the neck, but that's just from when you cut the tails off. Let me just get that off of there. Okay, top and bottom. Fold it down to make a point on the bottom. Turn it sideways and fold it again. And so you have kind of a kite shape. Okay. Then you're just going to gather it up. And there's your petal. Julie does this a whole lot smoother than me, but she's done it a whole lot more times than I have. And this will be outside, so you want it to have some weather resistance to it. And the material itself is weather resistant, but you know, if you have wind and whatever, it could certainly cause more fraying. Okay, I think we got one more for this section. If I can get it out of the box. I threw them all in a box as I cut them so that they wouldn't be wrapped on each other, because if they get wrapped on each other, that's when they pull and tug and fray. Okay. Fold it again. Take your little kite, gather it up. I can shape it out nicely. And there you have the blue section, you see? And you could go around and reconfigure a little bit. Alright, so now we start with the red and the white, and we're just going to use that second wire like we were doing with the other one. And we're just going to alternate, and it's the same petal. Now let me just see if I can get a zip tie in there first, make my life easier. Here we go. Zip. Hold on. Potential spam. Spam seems to be a very popular item, doesn't it, huh? Wait. You can see here in the white, you can see the line here. That's about where you're going to gather, because that is where the end of any raw edges are. You see how that's coming? Okay. All right, I'm going to continue around with this first row of the red and white, and I'll get back to you when I've got all the way around the ring. Okay, I've moved your angle a little bit. I think this is a better view. And I'm going to start the second row, and I'm going to start with a red. So let me move this up here, and we'll show you that fold from this angle. I'm going to fold that down, and I make like a little X at the bottom. Turn it sideways and fold it in half. And that gives me a closed-in point, and then you just and if you go up too far, you see this is a little bit in, so you can fix that. There you go. Now I put a few things in here to get us started. I have a box under the table here that I'm just sweeping this stuff off into. If I was going to make a lot of these, I tell you, I'd have one of those apparatus that Julie has again. But, you know, I use scissors, and scissors, I don't have left-handed scissors. They're just regular scissors, so it's always bothersome to my thumb. Well, if I find the other end of this, I'll be okay. had it stuck under one of the other petals. Got to put a few more on. You see, when I'm folding, all of the raw edges are down here, so that when I move this up, there aren't any. See how that is coming nicely? Okay, I'm going to continue going around, and when I get closer to the end, I'll come back. You don't need to watch me do every single one of these. Back in a bit. Here we are with all the petals on it. Let's see, up that way. There we go. Now, I have flower centers, but I don't want a flower center. It's not correct for this. So I have this foam discs from the Dollar Tree that will fit nicely right in here. And I'm just going to take some twine and wrap it. Now let's see, we're going to start. I don't know if my glue is hot yet. Oops, I think it is. It's leaking. And then I'm going around, back around on itself. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to move that. It's not in the middle, and I want it in the middle. So I'll move it down, press it in. There we go. Okay, I'm going to continue going round and round. When we get down around the corner, I'll let you know. Okay, there she goes. Isn't that something, huh? Now these little stars were on a little Dollar Tree thingy here, and I just cut a few off because I didn't have any white stars this time, but they kind of look pretty. They sparkle, and this came out really nice. It's put through on the back, and the wires are down. I'm going to probably put something on here so it won't scratch anything. But is that nice, huh? I'll take it on and put it on the door, and everybody can see what it looks like. Back in just a minute. Well, there it is on the door. It came out really nice. I'm really impressed. Well, we have a wreath on the front door and a wreath on the back door. I guess we're all set. That center is nice. All set for Memorial Day, 4th of July. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, a like, share the video. Let's get going again here. Been missing in action for so long, it's kind of hard to get going, but we're on a roll now. So I'll see you again soon for another cooking video. Until then, have a great afternoon, evening, morning, night, or whatever it is for you, and everybody play nice now. Love ya. Bye-bye.